Hello students, greeting of the day. In today's session we are going to cover the analysis part of pre-stressed flat slab. In last lecture we discussed about what is mean by flat slab, what are the different types of it, advantages and disadvantages of flat slab, and the design procedure. Means how to get the dimensions of the flat slab, how to analyze, what is the procedure of analysis. So that everything we have covered in the first lecture. Now in the second lecture of this flat slab we are going to solve one numerical, actual analysis numerical of flat slab. In this numerical we are going to analyze the given flat slab by direct design method. So let's start. So this is what the numerical statement: analyze a continuous pre-stressed flat slab, floor of overall size 16 meter by 16 meter. The columns are spaced at 7.5 meter interval in perpendicular directions. The floor slab has to support a superimposed load of 3 kN per meter square. Fresnel cables consisting of 12 wires of 5 mm diameter stressed to 1000 MPa are available for use, and with the help of this determine the moment by direct design method. Means this is what the given condition of flat slab, and we need to find out the moments for this. So the very first step in this is a determination of thickness of slab, because only the size of slab is given and the distance between column to column distance is given. So first of all we need to find out the proportionate dimensions of flat slab. So in this regard the step 1 is determination of thickness of slab, means we will find out the thickness of slab first, thickness of flat slab. So here we use the empirical formula span divided by 40. So the span is square in shape, center to center distance is 7.5 meter interval. So the span for one single panel is 7.5 meter. So here I have converted that meter to mm by multiplying 1000. So once when we do the calculation, 7.5 into 1000 divided by 40, we will get the thickness in mm. We will get that thickness in mm, that is 200 mm. What is the basic condition for flat slab? The thickness should not be less than 150 mm. So here we get 200 mm, so it is greater than that, so it's okay. Now the thickness of drop. So here the pre-stressed flat slab we have. So this flat slab we are going to design as flat slab with drop. Flat slab with drop without column head. Means it has got two thicknesses. One is the drop thickness, another is the thickness of slab. So thickness of slab already we have find out 200 mm. Now the thickness of drop, how we get that thickness of drop? Thickness of slab, thickness of drop is equal to thickness of slab plus projection of drop from the slab. So what will be the projection of the slab? That we discussed in the last lecture. So the minimum projection of the drop from the slab is one-fourth of the thickness of slab. So that minimum category we have considered over here. So 200 is the thickness of slab plus one-fourth of thickness of slab, 200, one-fourth of 200, and when we do this calculation we will get the answer as 250 mm. So now here we get the thickness of slab as well as the thickness of drop. Now the width of drop. So how we get that width of drop? So as per the last lecture's discussion, the width of drop we are going to consider as the width of column strip, and that is one-third of the total span, one-third of the center to center span of a panel. So one-third of the 7.5 meter is gives us the 2.5 meter distance. So now we'll consider the width of drop as 2.5 meter. So in the step 1 we get the thickness of slab, thickness of drop and width of drop. Now in step 2 is the load calculations. So in load calculations, first of all we are going to find out the self weight of slab. So here slab is there, spelling mistake, I'll do that correction. So the self weight of slab, so how we get that self weight of slab? Thickness into density into unit, for unit area we are calculating the self weight. So the thickness, yes, we already find out that is 200 mm, or in meter if you want to convert, it's 0.2 into the density into the, see here, the density is 24 we have taken here, but for thickness I use this average. So why I use this average? Because here we have two thicknesses. One is the thickness of slab and another is the thickness of drop. So here I have taken the average thickness, that is nothing but the average of thickness of slab plus thickness of drop. So that's why 0.2 plus 0.25 divided by 2, this is nothing but the average thickness. Okay, and when we do this calculation, we get the self weight of slab as 5.4 kilonewton per meter square. Superimpulse load, that is nothing but the live load, is given as 3 kilonewton per meter square, and for floor finishes we are going to assume it as 0.12 kilonewton per meter square. Okay, so if it is not given, we need to assume that. So once we get this dead load, live load and floor finishes, actually floor finishes is also the dead load, so we'll get the total load per unit area, and that total load per unit area is nothing but the summation of all these things. 5.4 plus 3 plus 0.12, that is 8.52 kilonewton per meter square is the total load for unit area. Now the step 3 is the moment calculation. So how we get the moment in case of flat slab? As I told you earlier, for this analysis of flat slab, we are going to use the direct design method. But when we use the direct design method, it has certain conditions. Means if a particular panel follows that condition, then and then only we use this. Means for if we consider any panel, we cannot apply this direct design method for any slab. If a slab is following the assumptions given by the DDM, then and then only we use this direct design method. So what we consider that is the given slab condition is satisfies all that conditions given by the DDM. So that's why we are following the direct design method. So in the direct design method, one value of moment is there in the IS code. So that is nothing but the M0. Okay, so this M0 moment is there, which is equal to W into Ln divided by 8. Now W is the design load we are going to consider. The design load which is acting on the area L2 by Ln. Now here we have the three lengths L1, L2 and Ln. So the meaning of this L1, L2 and Ln is already we discussed in the previous lecture. Again I have given the explanation for that here, where the L1 is nothing but the length of span in the direction of movement. So L1 is what? The length of span in the direction, in what direction we are going to find out the moment. So that span is nothing but L1. Here the center to center span I have taken as the 7.5 meter. In both the direction we have the same span. So the value of L1 and L2, they are same. So L1 is 7.5 meter, L2 is length of the span transverse or the perpendicular or the orthogonal to L1, that is 7.5 meter. Ln is the clear span extending from the face to face of the column or the column capital or brackets or the wall, but not less than 0.65 L1. So now here we have the two choices. So first of all we find out this value 0.65 times of L1. So 0.65 into 7.5, that will give us the 4.4875. So this is what the minimum requirement of ln. But if we get the clear span after subtracting the greater than that, then we can take that greater value. So this is what the minimum value. So if we get the another value which is greater than this, so we will take the greater value. So here the column size is not given, because here the meaning of this ln is what? Clear span extending from the face to face of the column, means center to center distance minus the dimension of column or the column capital that we are going to do. And so for that we must know the size of column. As in the given numerical, the size of column is not given, so we assume the column size as 350 mm, means 350 by 350 square column we assume. And when we assume this size of column as 350, we get the value of ln as center to center distance 7.5 minus the size of column in meter is 0.35, and so that answer is if we do that calculation, we get as 7.15. Now see here we have two values. One is the minimum value and another is the maximum value. So we will take the maximum value for the calculation. So ln value we are going to take it as 7.15 meters. 7.15 meter is the ln value, that is nothing but the clear span. Okay. Now to get this value of moment m0, we know we required value of w and value of ln. So value of ln is 7.15 and w we already find out. W is what? The w is nothing but the design load on the area L2 by ln, means total load for the unit area, total load for the unit area multiplied by L2 into ln. So the total load on the unit area is this much, 8.52, and if we multiply this 8.52 by L2 and ln, L2 is 7.5 and ln is, what is the value of ln? ln is 7.15. So if we multiply these two, so meter square get cancelled and we get that value of W in kilonewtons. Okay, so that calculation is shown here. So for ln we have taken the maximum value. So W, how we get? The total load for the unit area into L2 into ln. Okay, so W 8.52 we have taken from this same. Initially we have calculated in kilonewton per meter square, and after that we will multiply the area. What area we are going to multiply? L2 into ln, and finally we will get the value of, if we do this calculation, we will get the value of W as 456, means 456.88 kilonewton value of that W will get. Now as we get the value of W, we know the value of ln, we can find out the value of this m0. So m0 is equal to, or the moment, total moment is nothing but the WLN by 8, and if we do this calculation with the help of calculator, we will get the moment in kilonewton meter. The magnitude of moment is 408.314. Dear students, do check all these calculations by yourself also. Take your calculators, do these calculations, don't copy as it is. Okay, so that total moment value is 408.341 kilonewton meter. But so this is what the total moment, and this moment is going to distribute on the various parts of the flat slab. Okay, means we need to distribute this moment along the various spans or at the supports of the flat slab, and that is nothing but the step number 4. So step number 4 is the distribution of this moment m0. For this distribution of moment we require certain terms. Out of that, the very first is alpha c, that is nothing but the ratio of flexural stiffness of exterior column to the flexural stiffness. It is the ratio of, what is this alpha c? Alpha c is nothing but the ratio of what? Flexural stiffness of exterior columns to the flexural stiffness of the slab, okay, at the joint, taken in the direction of moment are being determined. Means this is the ratio of stiffnesses of column and stiffnesses of slab. Means to get this value of alpha c, we need to calculate first of all the stiffness of column and stiffness of slab. So summation kc is nothing but the stiffnesses of column meeting at the joint. So how we get the stiffness? We studied the structural analysis 1, structural analysis 2. In that analysis, we use the stiffness formula for the column as 4 EI by L. Okay. So E we are not going to put the value of E. We are going to calculate this stiffness in terms of E. Already we assume that the column dimension assumed as 350 mm. So with this assumed dimension, we can find out the value of I, 1/12 BD cube. Okay. So here B and D is same. So I have taken B raised to 4 divided by 12. Okay. And the column length, again we assumed the column length as 4 meter. 4 meter is the assumed column length because it is not given. So when we put all these things, first of all we calculate this moment of inertia I for the column, and that will give us the magnitude 1.25 into 10 raised to 9 mm of 4. So this is what the unit of moment of inertia, mm raised to 4. So when we put this value of moment of inertia and the length of column in the stiffness formula, we get the stiffness of column. So the stiffness of column, the magnitude is 1.25 into 10 raised to 6 E. So intentionally I haven't put the value of E over here because it's a ratio of stiffnesses, so it is going to cancel. Okay, so that's why. Now in the next step we are going to calculate the stiffness for the slab. So for this slab stiffness calculation, we are going to express it as in the moment per unit rotation. So 4 EI by L divided by length of shorter span we will consider. Okay. So when we calculate the stiffness for the slab, we will consider the length of shorter span. Okay. So the actually in the given numerical, the slab is of square shape, then there is no problem. But when we have the rectangular slab, then in this case we need to consider this thing. Okay. Length of shorter span we need to take. And we also calculate the moment of inertia for the slab. So here we consider the unit width for the slab. So 1/12 BD cube. So B we consider as the unit. D is nothing but the depth of a slab. Okay. So for this depth, see here, in the first step we have calculated two depth. One is the depth of slab. Then the second is the thickness of drop. 250 200 and 250. So what I used over here, see here, that is very important. I have used the average. Okay, average thickness. So we have calculated there the average. Okay, so average of these two, 0.25 we used. So that depth we need to consider as average depth we consider, and the magnitude of that moment of inertia is, after calculation, 949.2187 into 10 raised to 6 mm of 4. So this is what the moment of inertia for slab. And when we put this value in the stiffness formula, see, length we have considered as a shorter span, and value of I we have put E. Intentionally we keep E as it is so that it will get cancelled. So the stiffness for slab is 0.506 into 10 raised to 6 into E, and the alpha value, alpha C value, means stiffness ratio value, when we put E gets cancelled. So we get this alpha C as 0.1 minute. we'll get that value as 2.47. So this value of alpha c we are going to use for the further calculations. Okay, so what we did, we calculated the total moment, then we need to distribute that moment, and for that distribution we have calculated the value of alpha c. But how to distribute this? So we are going to distribute this moment for various positions. So see here, this is again I have taken from the direct design method IS 456 2000. Okay, so we need to distribute this moment with the help of moment coefficients, and these moment coefficients for various positions are given in the IS code. Out of that, the very first position is the interior span, interior middle span, interior. If we have the interior span, the middle of the interior span, and at the support of interior span, okay, then we need to distribute this moment at the end of exterior support. We have the end span, at the end span exterior support, and the end span interior support, and end span middle. Means total 3 plus 2 5 positions we have where we need to distribute this. And how we are going to distribute? With the help of this moment coefficient. So for interior span middle, the moment coefficient value is 0.35. Interior span support, moment coefficient value is 0.65. So these moment coefficient values are given in the IS code. Directly from the IS code I have taken these values. Okay, IS 456 2000. Then for the end span interior support, moment coefficient is not directly given, but it is in terms of alpha c, and that's why we have calculated the value of alpha c. So when we put the value of alpha c in this expression, we'll get the moment coefficient as 0.463. okay, and the actual moment in that particular position, means actual moment in the interior span at the middle position, is nothing but this moment coefficient into the value of m0. m0 we have calculated already. So if you multiply this m0 by coefficient, we will get the actual moment developed. Okay, so that moment is 142.919. okay, unit is kilonewton meter. And what about the nature? As this moment is the middle span, so that the nature of that moment is positive. Now at the support, whatever moment we get, we multiply that m0 by that moment coefficient 0.65 into 0.65 into 408.314. we'll get the magnitude of moment as 265.42, and the nature, as it is the moment is at the support, that nature is negative. Okay, in the similar fashion we'll calculate the coefficient and the moment magnitude for various conditions, like end span exterior support. So this is the formula given in the IS code. When we put this for values of alpha c, we'll get the coefficient as 0.463, and this coefficient multiplied by value of m0 will give us the actual moment developed at the end span exterior support, and the magnitude of moment end span exterior support is 189.062 kilonewton meter, and as this moment is at the support, the nature is negative. Now the end span interior support, again interior support moment we are going to calculate with the help of this expression. First coefficient we calculate. So this is again given in directly taken from the IS code. So the coefficient value after calculation we get as 0.679, and when we multiply this coefficient to m0, we'll get the moment at end span exterior support as 277.2635, and as this is the support moment, the nature is negative. Okay, now the last moment is the end span middle moment. So this is what the formula for the coefficient given by the direct design method, IS 456 2000. So when we put the value of alpha c in this, we will get the value of coefficient as 0.431, and when we multiply this coefficient to m0, we will get the moment, and that moment magnitude is 76, and as this is the middle span movement, this is what the sagging, and the sagging represents the positive movement. Okay, so this is what the positive movement. So with the help of this table, we calculated the value of moment coefficients and moments value and their nature. So this table is very important. Actually, in the theory exam, they are going to ask the numerical for the 10 marks up to this moment calculation. But again, to get the clear view of this numerical, we need to show this moment along the beam. So see here, so this is what the continuous slab we have. This is the end span of the continuous slab, and this is the interior span of the continuous slab. So this is the support, interior span supports, and the interior span mid span, interior span middle moment, interior span support moment. Okay, so one by one, first of all we'll see interior span middle and interior span support. So interior span middle moment we'll calculate first. So that magnitude of interior span middle moment is 142.919 kilonewton meter positive, and the support moment is 265.42 kilonewton meter negative. Support moment we call as negative, middle span moment we call as the positive. Okay, similarly for the end span. But for end span, do remember that for end span the support moments at both the supports are not same. Okay, so for exterior support the moment is different, and for interior support the moment is different. So first of all we'll get the value of exterior support. So that value is 189.062 kilonewton meter. We already calculated that value in the table. First of all you calculate the value with the table and then put that values in this bending moment diagram. Okay, now we will calculate the value for interior support 277.635, and last the mid span moment we will calculate. Mid span moment is 176 kilonewton meter positive moment. Now this is what the actual analysis by direct design method of pre-stressed flat slab. Okay, so flat slab analysis. So in this analysis we come to know that the negative moment is maximum. Okay, so for the calculation of pre-stressing force, or for the further calculations, what we are going to assume, we do the calculation for the maximum moment. We will calculate the value of pre-stressing for maximum moment, means for we will calculate the value of P for 277.635 kilonewton meter irrespective of its sign. The sign indicates the where we need to provide the tendons. Okay, so that will gives us the position, that negative and positive signs gives us the position where actually there is the necessity of the reinforcement or the cables. Okay, so this is what the analysis of flat slab. Hope you get the idea how to calculate the moment by direct design method. If you have any doubts, you are free to ask me. Okay, I am going to share this PDF file on the Google Classroom. Thank you.